Hello all, welcome to the channel and welcome to episode 35 of the Light and Dark Only walkthrough. Once again, our goal is to make a short video, and once again we probably won't attain that goal. But I wanted to show you my Punisher's Crypt 10 team. If I can remind you, the last time we did Punisher's Crypt 10, Shushu and Eshir pulled out the win.
OP. Shushu OP. That's it. 10-minute, 53-second run.
So the team members are the Dark Vampire Lord, Gina, Elsharion, non-2A Bella, and that's important, and Eshir. You'll notice I have them attacking the left tower first from our perspective, and then the right tower. And that's just because, so the left tower does an attack power break on us, and then also cleanses the boss. So a lot of our damage here actually comes from dots, and if the boss is being constantly cleansed, then the dots aren't going to do any good. And so the Vampire Lord's role on the team is, one, is just to be the attack power lead, two, attack buff, three, the vampire effect on everybody, so everybody can heal themselves a little bit. And then he also does block beneficial effects, which can help reduce the number of times the speed buff gets on the boss. And then also he's one of the two dark tanks on this team. So you'll notice on this, whenever the boss does his big attack with many hits, he always goes after a dark unit. So the two dark units here are basically tanks, and Gina does a lot of damage with dots. But the idea is that we keep the boss hitting these two dark tanks, and then Elsharion, Bella, and Eshir are not touched by anything other than the AoE attacks. And then Bella and Eshir can heal everybody up. Gina is in here to do exactly that. She's there to do AoE damage to the waves and put a bunch of dots on them. So that now she's never gonna, even if I put amazing runes on her, she's probably not gonna one-shot the waves, but she can definitely help speed up the demise of the waves. Elsharion and Bella are here with defense breaks to help kill the mid-boss and speed up the waves as well. Those defense breaks really help. And then Eshir is here to do a speed buff, and he also does a strip and bigger damage. So if there's a monster with a defense break with maybe half HP, Eshir can do enough damage to kill off that monster. So with a combination of good single target damage plus the two defense breaks on the team, you can get through the waves in a reasonable amount of time. And this team can go directly for the boss, but it tends to be a much longer run, like 3.5 or 4 minutes, and I can see that there is a risk of failure. So it doesn't take long with the two defense breaks to just simply take out the towers, and then once the left tower is dead, the boss is no longer cleansed, and once the right tower is dead, then the boss doesn't get a speed buff anymore. You can see once the towers are gone, the boss is no longer getting up to, so here's his skill, the Punisher's sword. Important thing to note here is that this is a non-2A Bella, because the 2A Bella, her first skill will decrease the enemy attack bar. You don't want any monsters on your team in Punisher's Crypt to decrease the attack bar of the boss, because that instantly gives him a turn. If you look at his passive here, Punisher's Sword, after the 5th turn, he gets up to 3 attacks. After the 10th turn, damage will go up 100% according to the attack speed. After the 20th turn, all attacks will ignore the enemy's defense up to 100% according to the attack speed. And so he could do a ton of damage once he gets up to 20. So yes, it takes me an extra 30 seconds to kill off the 2 towers, maybe 20 seconds. But once that's done, he doesn't get a speed buff anymore. The Dark Vampire Lord actually has a speed slow, which would be useful if he would put that on. After the towers are all gone, there's no cleanse either. So even though the boss is starting to take turns, the continuous damage are hitting him when he gets his turn. And so his health goes down pretty rapidly. But here we are just destroying the left tower. And wanted to point out, Elsharion is actually quite good for this dungeon. So Elsharion's skill 1 and skill 2 attacks are both based off of attack speed. So the faster he is, the more damage he's going to do. And there's 2 ways that he fits into this team really well. One is Eshir does a speed buff, and Elsharion can also steal the speed buff and give it to everybody on the team. Either way, that increases his attack speed and his attack damage, and he can hit pretty hard. The second reason Elsharion is in here is that when he receives buffs, and when the allies on your team receives buffs, it increases his attack speed up to a 100 increase. So if there's a lot of buffs on your team, he gets a lot of speed, which makes him do a lot more damage. And then he also just gets a lot more turns. So the more buffs you have, the more Elsharion just kills things. Oh, there's a sub 2 minute run. We'll look at the runes here in a minute, but this team is runed okay for an account that's a little over 200 days old, but they're certainly not good runes, and that's why I have to take out the towers. If I just had more HP, more defense, and more attack, I could just go straight for the boss and the run would be faster. But there's a 10 run at 2 minutes 16 seconds for 10 runs on average. And over the last 3 or 4 days, once I settled on this team, I've only had a couple of fails. It seems to be a very reliable team. So I hope that you have similar rune quality or towers or better than me, and you should be able to build this, and it should help you out quite a bit. We already talked about the Vampire Lord's role, and the nice thing about the Vampire Lord is, so with the way I have him built, he doesn't do a lot of damage, so you don't need him to be on violent to do more damage. He can just kind of hang out with these runes that he has. So he's on speed, crit damage, HP, and then he's got a shield set, 15 speed there, 24 speed there, and then he's got a fight set, 15 speed, 9 speed. So Gina is Despair Shield, speed, HP, HP. So you can see this one is grinded up pretty good, although that's a terrible defense grind. Do we have another better defense grind? No, can't be any worse. Okay, we got 1 more %. Thanks a lot, ComTuS. You can see we've got a number of things that still need grinds. And then these artifacts, if I remember right, skill 3 crit damage 10, skill 2 accuracy, which is pretty helpful because that's the one where Gina does a strip and then also block beneficial effects, AoE. So having good accuracy in skill 2 is important. 20 speed there. Ooh, 23 speed there. Do I have a... I do. Hey, can we make this like 27 speed? Actually, we don't want to do that for this particular team because then she's going to go ahead of the Vampire Lord. So that would have been a bad thing to do. Elsharion is Violent Blade. So he's on speed, crit damage, with a really nice 23% crit right there, HP. And that's just for him to survive. And he's actually doing pretty good, 91% crit rate, 150% crit damage. He's got 52 accuracy. He needs accuracy in order to steal buffs. So that's important for him. And he's a little bit slower at 213. But plus 17 HP, gets his defense over 1,000. He's in pretty good shape. He needs a couple more grinds or maybe a gem here or there. And then I really liked this artifact for him, skill 1 and skill 2 accuracy. And then also crit damage taken. And then more crit damage. Co-op attack damage doesn't matter much. This artifact is not as good as that other one, although it's got a nice line 1, which is why it's on him. Regular Bella, which is 222 speed, 99% crit rate, 45% accuracy, and you're like, wait, what? 99% crit rate? You have Bella on a speed, crit rate, HP build? Yes, I do, and that's not for this dungeon. This Bella is primarily built for my SR10 team, which needs almost 100% crit rate in order to land debuffs on the boss. And I can't use my 2A Bella on this dungeon because she'll give the boss a free turn. And so even though she doesn't need the crit rate in this dungeon, since I need to use her in both, she just needs to stay on the crit rate. But she's, plus 16,000 HP, over 1,100 defense, pretty good speed, decent accuracy. I think she has some more accuracy. No. She has 12% extra recovery on her heal, which is really nice. It makes her heal much better. So let's look at turn order and team mechanics as we just go through one attack. Eshir is the fastest, so we boost him up. Elsharion goes second because of the speed buff and his passive. And so his passive is he steals one beneficial effect and applies it to all allies. And then his attack power is increased by 30% for each beneficial effect you are granted with, and increases your attack speed by 5 for each beneficial effect granted on the allies, up to 100. So if you look here, he's got 2. Everybody has 2. So that's an extra 10 buffs, which means he gets an extra 50 speed. So that's why he's going second, even though his base speed and his speed from runes is slower than everybody else. So we just want to use skill 3 here. So again, we boost up to boost our speed, and then we hope that we get a defense break. There we go. 21k damage there. Now we can boost up. So that's a little bit under 4k per hit. That was about it's about 15,000. There's 36k. So you can see how much damage. The main damage dealer on this team is clearly Elsharion. Everybody else is just contributing. First, we're boosting up. We need a defense break on the tower. There we go. Around 20k damage. Well, so the attack speed boost goes on the ally with the lowest HP status. So it's another reason to hit the left tower if you're not sure you can do it without hitting the towers, is that the first 1 or 2 speed buffs won't go on the boss, so he's not going to get a lot of turns. This should kill. Yeah, 23k, but it didn't kill. There's 6k there. We're looking pretty good here. Let's see how much damage here. I couldn't actually see that. There we got 6 dots. We get a defense break. There we go. And the boss is only on 4. Now we can buff up with attack. But we're not doing it. Here we go. Let's see. 37k. And that's it. That's the new PC10 team I'm going to recommend. And the only thing left for the video is summons. We managed to scrape together 2 LD summons. The monster Forbidden Evolution to get somebody to 6-star right away. I accidentally collected that from the event. I only have 22 hours left to use that. So I'm hoping to get a new toy and we could just 6-star it right away. If that doesn't happen, then I'm going to summon another Lauren. We still have not gotten a Duke Nat 5 in a very long time, since very early in the series. So we're just hoping we can finally get one. Here comes lightning. No, Perrier. Another lightning. That's free fodder for 3 lightnings. Not bad. It's a Lich, if we ever get the light one. Our Dark Lich is fully skilled now, so he doesn't need those. But 3 lightnings and 10, I will take that. And then we got none there, but we got a Mystic Witch, so we need 2 more skill ups on Linda, and those are 2A skill ups, so we need like 26 Mystic Witches, so to get 1 is nice. Let's see what we can get here. Kamoon. If I ever get the light or dark ones, I would be very happy to use him as a skill up. This is what it always comes down to, right? We've got 2 LD summons. Can we get a new toy? I'd love a lightning, but just would like a new toy. So I've got a new toy that's useful that can be used to give me a different ability in the game. Okay, here we go. First one. No lightning. Oh my god. We had an episode not too long ago where we pulled 2 of him in a row, and so that he is not welcome. Sorry, Dark Viking, you're not welcome here. We don't want you showing up anymore. Go bother someone else. Go bother Uncle Nay. Come on, something good. No lightning. Secret dungeon monster. So 2 secret dungeon monsters out of 2 pulls. It's disappointing. Okay, well, so one thing, it can be really hard to be an LD only account and then do a summon session like that and just have terrible results. And it sometimes can feel like you're not getting any new LD toys and you're not getting any new abilities. But one thing that can kind of help you out get through that is because you will eventually get better summons. It just takes a while with this type of account. And so one of the things I recommend for those of you that are struggling to get new toys is that don't just build stuff to build stuff. Fran and Lauren are both very versatile. They're useful in RTA in certain comps, and they're very useful in Siege. I'm also starting to see that I don't want to have the same Fran or the same Lauren in all of my dungeons. So having a couple of Frans and Laurens built up with different rune sets for different dungeons can be very useful. Now I could 6-star Silver because he's one of the new 2A monsters coming up, but I think Silver is so useless now unless they give him a dramatic revamp. 6-starring him right now is probably a waste of that special evolution. So we've got 3 Frans here, a 4th one down here, but we only have 3 Laurens. So Lauren wins out. We're going to get another Lauren going. And we can awaken one of these. Alright, so Lauren's going to be awakened. And now that I can tell her apart from the other ones, we can come in here and we're going to use this. We're going to find our 3-star Lauren that's awakened. And so these forbidden evolutions, you only get a couple of them a year, maybe 2 or 3. So they're usually best used on, yeah, you can instantly 6-star in that 5 you have, but that's only gaining you just a little bit of advantage in terms of fodder used and time spent. So whereas a 3-star, you avoid all fodder use all the way up to 6 stars. So that's why we're going with Lauren here. So there she is. We now have our 4th Lauren. And we will have to rune her up soon. Okay, well, that's it for this episode. Kind of disappointing we didn't strike LD Lightning. But that happens. And when that happens, just focus on what you still have left to build. And try not to let it bother you. I think I've been slowly getting better at that over time. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.